Let's get right into it. I am the MMA Oracle and I specialize in predicting accurate fight outcomes. The last time UFC champion Alex Pereira and #1 contender Jiri Procházka faced off 7 months ago, my prediction of Pereira defeating Jiri in 4 rounds or less proved to be true. Now, this Saturday at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, we will aim to predict another UFC title bout between these two warriors. UFC 303 will be another tightly contested matchup, with each fighter having something to prove. In the last time out, we saw Jiri Procházka bring the pressure and take Pereira down right away in the first round. To his credit, Alex Pereira showed resilience and was able to survive on the ground, returning to his feet and implementing very effective leg kicks. It is absolutely imperative for Pereira to keep his grappling defense sharp and be able to escape from difficult grappling positions if needed in the rematch. While both fighters will probably keep the fight standing based on their fighting styles, Jiri likes to push the pressure and keep his opponents guessing. He is as unorthodox as it gets, and definitely brings the samurai spirit into every single one of his fights. Although sometimes that could put him at a disadvantage, especially against a skilled kickboxer with the power that Poatan has. In the first fight, Pereira capitalized on a left hook in the second round, which staggered Jiri, dropping him to his knees. After a flurry of elbows, the fight was quickly stopped. Will this play a role in how Jiri Procházka approaches this next fight? That is what we are here to find out. The current light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira has a total MMA record of 10 wins and 2 losses with 8 fights in the UFC promotion. #1 challenger Jiri Procházka has a total record of 30 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw with 5 fights in the UFC. We also cannot forget to mention that Poatan has held 2 belts simultaneously in Glory Kickboxing and has a kickboxing record of 33 wins and 7 losses. Both fighters' average fight time is nearly identical, as well as their height and reach. Pereira is coming into this fight at 36 years of age, 5 years older than his opponent. He will be turning 37 just 1 week after the event. In terms of significant strikes, both fighters also landed nearly the same amount of strikes per minute, with the same amount of accuracy. The minor difference here is that Procházka absorbs almost 2 significant strikes per minute more and has a 41% striking defense compared to Pereira's 50% defense rate. This is due to Procházka's unrelenting fighting style, where he is unafraid to open himself up to risk in order to smother his opponent. He is very awkward in his approach, and it can be very difficult to predict what type of shots he will throw. The thing he may be more cautious of in this rematch is the brutal calf kicks and the massive power that Pereira has in his left hand. There is a reason Pereira's nickname means stone hand. In the first fight, Pereira had great success with attacking the lead leg. If Pereira is able to manage the distance effectively and be wary of the takedown, he can look to tear up Jiri's calf again if he chooses to exchange orthodox or look to attack the body if Jiri keeps an open stance instead. Whoever can push the pressure in this fight will have success, but the determining factor will be who can withstand the pressure and land that devastating blow. Jiri Procházka has been thinking about this rematch for the past 6 months, and many people felt it was an early referee stoppage in the first matchup. There is no doubt revenge and redemption will be a motivating factor for him. Both fighters are coming off recent knockout victories at UFC 300, which was only a couple of months ago. They will both be fresh and well prepared for this fight. If Jiri can remain in an open stance, he should be able to limit the kicks and be able to implement his fighting style more often. He may look to mix in the takedowns again, as he did in the first fight, and look to win rounds on the ground in order to take away some of Pereira's speed and punching power in the later rounds. Poatan has previously expressed interest in fighting at heavyweight in the future, so maybe after securing a victory this Saturday, he will begin the next chapter of his already historic career. When looking at Jiri Procházka's performance against Alexander Rakic, Jiri faced early difficulties against Rakic's tactical approach. again struggling with early calf kicks in the first round and sustaining damage to his right eye. Rakic was able to control the distance and utilize effective technical striking to dominate the first round. In round 2, Jiri did not take a step back and even increased his pressure, baiting Alexander to brawl and absorbing significant damage in order to get himself into striking range. This approach paid off, and despite a compromised lead leg and cut over his eye, Procházka hurt Rakic with clean punches and ultimately used a flying knee to set up a decisive knockdown. Jiri then transitioned straight into ground and pound, securing a TKO victory 3 minutes into round 2. Looking at Alex Pereira's most recent fight against Jamal Hill, he without a doubt solidified himself as the best light heavyweight in the UFC promotion. Again, Pereira was able to showcase his power and composure versus Jamal, remaining focused after a brief interruption due to a groin kick and landing a devastating uppercut to his staggered opponent. This title defense against Jamal was another victory against an opponent who had previously defeated his mentor Glover Teixeira, as was the case when defeating Jiri back in November. For my prediction in this rematch, I believe Jiri will not address his vulnerabilities as much as he should for such a calculated and powerful opponent as Pereira is. There is no doubt he could throw caution to the wind and land a powerful strike of his own, capable of finishing the fight, but the odds are set in Poatan's favor. Pereira will need to control the distance and avoid the prolonged exchanges with Procházka, as the volume of strikes Jiri will throw are sure to be sizable. The odds makers have this fight set to be a very close matchup, as it was in the first fight, with Alex Pereira coming in as a slight favorite at -135 odds. As I predicted in the first matchup, Alex Pereira will capitalize on his striking opportunities in this fight, even if they are limited. He will need to bring in solid takedown defense and use his experience to manage the range and awkward angles from Jiri Procházka. After weathering the storm and gauging the speed and movement of Jiri, Alex Pereira will likely finish Jiri in the mid to late rounds, exploiting his striking accuracy and striking defense to wear his opponent down and eventually find an opening to finish the fight. I see this fight being finished again in 4 rounds or less, with Poatan claiming another victory. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more content like this.